With some Chinese universities, we have a very long relationship. For example, with Beijing University of Technology, we have had a cooperation for almost 30 years now. Beijing used to send a lot of students to study in Finland. We had double degree programs, various double degree programs on engineering. And of course, from the Finnish point of view, China is the biggest and most important country in the world. So for a more country like Finland, cooperating with the Great China is of a great importance. And we see that the development in China has been beyond comparison to any country. And in research, China is already producing more research papers than any other country in the world. And China will be leading the world also on the science front. So there is a lot we feel that we can get by cooperating together with China. Finland has been traditionally fairly advanced on the education and many pedagogical issues like university applied sciences, and that is something that knowledge on that and how higher education works together with local industry is something that we have a lot of experience, and maybe that's something that we can give some of that to China. Especially the China's pursuit towards new university applied sciences is very interesting, of course, because I come from the University of Applied Sciences part. But I think that even globally, we have a slight problem that too much what universities do is too highly academic. The world is changing very fast, and when we have a very scientific approach, it takes from the idea more than 10 years of basic research before we have something for the industry. And the University of Applied Sciences are a very important tool there to bring something into practice faster. And especially smaller and medium-sized business corporations, they don't have the time and capacity to take what the basic research produces and start thinking about alone whether that could be something usable. And on that, the University of Applied Sciences are very important. That's what we are working together, for example, with National Academy of Education and Administration and many universities, is the Finnish concept, working very closely to the working life, having the students working with the real life problems, maybe even solving in a competition based some of the problems there, and encouraging both universities and the local businesses to work together. It's not that easy if that culture is missing. And we have a long tradition on that. And now working with our partners here in China to make that happen, for us, it seems something that can be very useful for China. That is very important. It's of course very much agenda in the Nordic, and especially with the changes that the global warming is causing, we see it more in the north. China is also in the northern hemisphere, but the resources of China to study these issues and make changes is of course of its own importance. And we also hope that China can be a forerunner in these issues. And often the Scandinavian countries are all small. But if we do that together with the China, then we are talking about 1.5 billion people, and that really makes a difference. Well, the spectrum is really wide, and generally the issues related to the Arctic and northern areas is an area that we worked already a lot together. And then everything from battery production, making really down the carbon print of traffic to the more sustainable sources of energy. And there are systems that we have already placed in water production, water-based energy production, renewing all that, making the energy networks more resilient. It's just a huge amount of possibilities to work together. And I believe that we have a fairly good working culture, even though our countries are very distant. The ways we work are very similar. And we found out that it's often much easier to work with the Chinese people than with our neighboring countries.